Hey, world, what's going on? This is your girl, Queen Aishah, and thank you so much for joining me for another dope episode of I Know Dope People. And you know how we get started. So, my guest today is my fun friend, Tami Johnson. I call her Tabitha Spawn from the Washington, D.C. area. We're going to chit chat about our friendship, her awesome branding, photography business, the marketing showcase she's been doing for 25 years. Before we bring Tami up, we're going to do Queen's Quickies. And y'all know how we do. So unless you was under a rock or you were just like born like right now, you heard about Montgomery, Alabama. The river, they're calling it the river brawl. Here's the thing. On Monday, something came up on my screen as I was bringing my computer up and something about a swimmer. I didn't read it. I was getting ready, doing my own thing. Then my friend in Carlora in New York texted me, said, "You heard about Alabama?" I swear, y'all, I thought it was a new movie on YouTube or something I missed. I was like, dang, they cloned Tyrone. What's she talking about? I missed something? Okay. So when she said that, I said, well, let me go back and read it. And I got to reading about the brawl at the riverfront in Montgomery, Alabama. Y'all know the bus boycott started in Montgomery, Alabama, so we're going to start there. Let me first say this. We do not condone violence. However, I'm all about self-defense. So it was a situation where some a private boater pulled up his boat where his boat was not supposed to be for the riverboat. That was their spot. They was going to pull in, and the man doing his job told him not to pull up over there. 2, 3, 4 guys ran up on him and everything. It was like he had magic in his hat. It was like they was coming for him, but when he tossed the hat up, it was like he sent a signal, like a gangster signal, to come for me. Come on down, y'all. We about to tear some ass up, pretty much. And he got these magic powers, and it just went down. Here's the thing. It's when I first thought, I was like, oh, this is so sad. Very, very sad. But you can't start nothing. Don't start it if you can't finish it, right? They came ill prepared to something they started, and they got their ass whipped. Their whole entire ass whipped. So it was like very sad. It was funny, but it was also like, don't play with me. Don't play with me. Here's the thing. When you go to the South and some of those small towns, people think people are not educated. They're not aware. They don't know. They can talk to them anyway because they're doing certain type of jobs. Don't do that. Don't sleep. They strong. And they tore that ass up. Of course, it's going to be a lot of legal charges. The man that was hitting people with the chair, I really think he checked out. I think that he just had an awakening. He had a flashback. So that was interesting because that is assault. So that's a whole nother thing. However, there was a lot of people that woke up with sore asses the next day. That's all I'm gonna say. A lot of sore asses. And just know that our ancestors were present. They were very present, and it went down. So if you didn't hear about it, you go read about it. It's everywhere. As you see the pictures we're showing, they have T-shirts out. People went to go celebrate at Cracker Barrel. It was interesting. It's interesting. A lot of people have their takes on what happened. So check it out. Share your thoughts. I also want to send my condolences to DJ Casper. He is the creator of the famous line dance song, the Cha-Cha Slide. If you don't know about the Cha-Cha Slide, you've never been to a wedding, you ain't never been to a barbecue, a family reunion, a funeral. The Cha-Cha Slide goes down everywhere. So condolences, rest in peace. He passed away this past Monday, August 7th. Yes. Also, I want to show this video. It's this little girl. She's having a conversation with her mother about the shopping bag that she has her carrying as a book bag. Son, you see that one? I'll put.
What's with the attitude? What about it?
You got me looking like I just came from Kroger's.
Okay.
Why can't I just have a lunchbox like the normal kids? Why do I have to look like I'm a Kroger worker?
You had a lunchbox and you left it. You lost it, so Kroger bag it is.
Why won't you just give me another one?
It don't work like that. You should have been responsible.
They make looking like scam likely.
I got you looking like what?
Scam likely.
I don't know what scam likely is. Hilarious. A lot of personality. But the funny thing, what caught me is that when I was in like junior high school, if my book bag was ripped, I didn't get a book bag yet. Taking a grocery store bag to school, I carried it. I'm like, okay, I just put my books in it. Yes, it probably bust out, but the lesson is she can't keep up with her lunchbox. So yes, she should have sent it with a Ziploc bag, but actually a Ziploc bag is a little richer than a grocery store bag. So get your lesson, kids, get your lesson. Y'all so privileged. Y'all so entitled. Anyway, that's it for Queen Aishah Quickies. And remember to like, subscribe, and share Queen Aishah on all social media platforms and the Queen Aishah YouTube channel. All right. Coming up is my friend, my homegirl, Tabitha Scorn, Tami Johnson. Tami Johnson, we've been friends for about 25 years. Almost 30 years. She's had the marketing showcase, which she is the creative director and photographer, brand consultant, expert at her studio, and she's done photos for me. This actually started off as an extreme sports and excursion in 2002. She just wanted to have fun. That's why I call her my fun friend. So she was planning trips. We did ski trips, all of that. By 2008, extreme sports excursions became the marketing showcase. And she limited her time with doing sports, planning trips professionally, but she still did her fun trips and focused more on her photography. And she's also, this year, she will be doing her 10th year with the Congressional Black Caucus, which is in DC, where all the Black and brown people in Congress get together, and they're doing a big event in DC that focuses on empowering our Black and brown community with jobs, education, health information, all of those things. Tami also, she mentors people that are in the photography and branding field. She's lended her expertise to my niece Asata when she was getting into photography. I've hired her for my comedy shows, Funny and Stilettos and More Better Funny. She is awesome. And we actually met when she was an intern when I was working at 93.9 WKYS in Washington, D.C. And we just clicked. We just rocked out. So we're going to talk about how she encouraged me to get my motorcycle license, but I don't ride no motorcycles. Please put your hands together for my girl, Tami E. Johnson of the Marketing Showcase Brand Studio. Hey. Yeah, what's up?
Hey, girl. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. Thank you. I appreciate being here.
Yeah, and I forgot, she has her master's degree. You have your master's degree in business, right?
I do have my master's degree in business administration. So an MBA. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tammy, thank you for your yes. Thank you for coming on.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
I love you. We have been friends for almost 30 years.
Yeah. Where has the time gone? But
Yeah.
yes, it's truly been that.
Yes. I mean, we have done Thanksgivings together where Tammy has rolled up. Tammy has come. She had brought a date with her and Tupperware. She is like, I'm taking some food to go. She ain't bring nothing. But she came. She ain't bring no dish. She didn't contribute any food. Her presence and her guest presence and her Tupperware was the contribution. She's like, I'll be taking some food. She's like, Aisha, I keep Tupperware.
You can't just leave good food just sitting
Right.
around. You gotta. I mean, you got so much left. You give me a little, pack my stuff and take it with me. So,
Yes, Tammy is like, I keep my Tupperware in the car, okay? Because when I roll up on something, thank you so much. So tell us about your journey as a photographer, creative director of the marketing showcase. How did you start it?
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. So I want to kind of take it a little bit back when you were talking about extreme sports and excursion, but also you didn't notice my pearls, right? So
I did not. This okay.
here's the deal. I want to refresh your memory on when you.
Also, she's a
First of all,
Delta.
let me back up.
She's a Delta. I
Back in
forgot.
probably 1996, 97, I think it was.
Mhm.
There was an opportunity to work at WKYS, and I heard the ad on the radio, and I was like, "Ooh, I should be intern there." Ooh, so I called the station, and fast forward, you actually interviewed me. So I was in my, I guess, early. I was a 19. No, I was in my early 20s, and I was ready. I had my little suit on.
That's right.
And I'm like going to work. So whether it was a paid assignment or not, I was dressed to the nines because that's, you come ready to interview.
Right.
So I wore my pearls because I had those pearls on during an interview back all those years ago. So I do still like and enjoy wearing them, but I made sure today that I said, you know what? I'm gonna refresh Aisha's memory of that time back at the station up on Nebraska Avenue back in '96. So here I am. But in terms of my journey, let me just also say too, was going through some paperwork. I moved a few times, and I said, let me just take a look and see what I have been doing. So even before extreme sports and excursions, back in like maybe 92, 93, I actually was doing a lot of resumes for people. So I didn't even realize even back then that the journey had started way back, way back. So what used to be Creative Solutions by Tami then became Extreme Sports and Excursions. Then the marketing showcase. Myself, Tami Johnson. So I say all that to say is that as I was thinking about just my tenure or my time working in this space, I was talking to someone and I was like, yeah, I'm going to be celebrating my 15th anniversary in the fall, probably about a year or two ago. And they say, 15 years? It's been longer than 15 years. And I say, what are you talking about? So it really has been almost my lifetime or an entire lifetime that I've been doing this level of work. So between helping other people with their own personal brands or for their resumes and just kind of helping to see the good in them, I was already doing that. And I will also give credit to some friends of my family, the Burnett's. I used to work at the corner store, C&B Delicatessen on 15th and U. And I was like 13, 14 years old. So while I was there, I would go to school. I would go there after school, working after school, and then coming home. But I think that's really what birthed some of my entrepreneurial spirit. I really realizing it until you just kind of start reflecting back and just looking at over time, just really how has this thing evolved. So again, even through high school, I did not go straight to college. So after high school, I actually relocated to Detroit, Michigan for a period of time. My mother had remarried and I went out there. So I will also just say I had applied to A&T and I didn't get accepted. And I think I was just having too much fun in high school. And while we did value education, it just wasn't high on the list. It was like finish high school, get a job, and start your life. That was just what we were used to And so when I relocated to Detroit, Michigan, my stepfather, who is an attorney, he actually encouraged me to go to school. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll give it a shot. And at this point, I'm 19 years old. I don't know anybody but the people in my household. And I go to Oakland Community College. So my first year, I got straight A's. So I was like, oh my God, I am smart. I can do this.
Oh,
So that was like, it gave me fuel to do
continue.
college. So I'm like, okay, I guess I could do this. So I went to Oakland Community College and I was there for about 2 years and I got homesick and I decided to come back to DC. Native Washingtonian, I will say that. So I came back home to DC and I actually ended up going to UDC, University of District of Columbia. So while I was there, I started to study marketing, business administration, and I've also worked and gone to school at the same time. So that
Right.
was a part of my journey as well. And so in doing school, UDC was about to close. It was going through a lot of changes, finances or what have you. So I went running over to Howard. So I went to Howard for a year, and I actually did a consortium with classes at GW. So when I was there, I actually started to learn technology. I'm like, wow, this learning process is a little bit different than what other schools have been able to offer. And again, still on the track for marketing or business administration. I ended up coming back to UDC because Howard is not designed for a full-time, for a part-time student or for a full-time student. So I was losing time in doing that process. So again, fast forward, without kind of dragging this whole process along, I finally finished at UDC. And I said, let me keep going. And I ended up getting my master's degree from University of Maryland, University College. So that was the school's journey. But along that lines, I was working again from the radio station. I actually worked other places in between, but real hard. And you all can kind of, stop me if need be as far as taking pauses, but I'm kind of jumping around. I worked for Verizon. So,
oh, that's right. Yes.
Verizon. And I will always say
she was killing it at Verizon.
She
was killing it.
Yeah. So thankfully, Verizon afforded me great trips, wonderful relationships with people I'm still friends with to this day. But I always say I grew up at Verizon in terms of a career or really focusing on work, because I learned customer service. I learned just the importance of just being nice to people. I learned how to manage objections and really focus on the sales process and what it means to close sales, and more often, and also just to win. And I could see results fast, and I could earn a lot of money.
Some bonuses, that's right.
Pay for you if you're doing well, then they're gonna definitely take care of you in that regard. So again, while working and going to school, all of these great things were happening. As Aisha has mentioned, there's some fun stuff that has to happen along the way in that too. So between organizing ski trips, whitewater rafting, paintball, you name it, I was there. I was fine, but I've always wanted to include other people. I'm like, y'all need to come do this. Y'all need to come skate. And half of my friends don't do the fun stuff that I do. But again, trying to encourage others along the way to just do these things too. Some would do it and others would not. And as I
so let me ask you this, Tami. Well, one thing you did, you're fine. One thing you did, you always included, I would say, everybody that I know of. Like, roller skating. I hadn't roller skated like probably since I was a young teenager. So we would do the roller skating. Remember the camping trip we went on? It was like 20 of us.
Oh my God, that was so much fun.
But was
that Deep Creek?
Deep Creek, yes, honey. Here's the thing, Tami. So you see how the Airbnbs, that was Airbnb, but it wasn't like it was. There was just people renting out their private homes. We had a jacuzzi. They remember they had the jet skis and we wanted to use the jet skis. They told us we couldn't use the jet skis.
Always amazing fun.
The lake was right there. It was like the best inside camping trip. That's when Lauryn Hill first came out with her single.
Yes.
Still in the Grammys. I still have the VHS tape that I brought there for us to watch. I have the pictures of us sitting on the floor watching it. We had like the best inside cookout. Oh my. Then hold up. So we went horseback riding that day.
Yeah, horseback riding.
We decided to go hiking, and we decided to let Ernest Skinner lead the hike. Ernest, with his leading ass, Ernest had surgery today. We sending him love. Ernest combined the different trails. It was a test of friendship. Remember, we went all the way to the top, and I was like, "Do not hold on to me, because if you fall, I love you, but you by yourself." We got back to that house when I tell you we were so sore. Remember I put them tomatoes on the vine?
Oh my God.
And I returned them because they was like $28. I'm like $8. I was like, I said, I'm gonna take these to my mother. They $8. I said, no, they going back. They was like, I've never seen nobody return tomatoes. I did.
That is so funny.
Yes.
Oh my God.
So with your journey with photography, because you have your degree in business administration.
Yeah.
However, now did you do business administration because of the business of photography, or did the photography?
No, so photography came like much later. So after actually, when I was at Verizon, again, I was sales, marketing, strategic planning, all kinds of things at Verizon. Well, my entire department got dissolved. It got laid off. I mean, we got laid off back in 2008, and I couldn't find a job. So I looked for a position in marketing, and I couldn't find one. So I said, you know what? Let me repackage my resume and connect with the small business, which I did with Prince George's County and just a small business administration, and got credentials basically as a small business. And the clients that I had doing ski trips, whitewater rafting, all those friends or people who knew that I could do this work, they became my customer. And while in between looking for work or just trying to find a job. So I would go to industry days and meet new people. And I actually got connected with other businesses, small businesses, but just startups or technology companies, construction companies. And I was able to get work from them. So they hired me as a contractor. So that really was what birthed the marketing showcase, truly, because I wasn't doing as much sports promotions as much. So I said, let me change the name, because I'm doing more marketing, like holistically when it comes to campaigns and events. I'm doing all of these things for the customer who now needs that. And so some of the projects I worked on, which is like the Dr. King Foundation, when they did the memorial, they built that up. So the contract that I had, which was $250 million, that was the one that gave me the most confidence that I can do this work in space. And it was strategy, but it was also graphic design. It was printing. So I was managing the entire process and catering too, because we had to feed all the workers who was building this over this period of time. So that was a real exciting opportunity to do that. But the other businesses I was working for, they would hire my services for strategic planning, for marketing, and for just helping them to host events. And a lot of times we will build the websites or marketing material, like their capability statement or the brochures, even like the website, they would not have images that they need. So we would spend all this time, money, and resources on buying stock photos. And I'm like, this is not authentic. This is your brand.
Right.
It look like you. This ain't what you're doing. So I started to go out and get the shot myself. So clients started using my images for their marketing material.
And you was getting a check?
Well, the check was already coming because it was coming from the strategy part, not the photography part. Right. So even with that, it took me a little while to transition to feel like I'm a professional photographer, because I was so used to being a marketing person. I just wasn't able to find my balance when it came down to figuring out what is it that I'm doing or what am I offering to our customers or to my customers. So as budgets started to shrink, people were starting to bring the marketing services in-house, and photography started to take on a life of its own. So even with that, I have one person I always like to give credit to for giving me the first paid photography job that I have, and that's the Miles family. They hired me to shoot, which was the 40th birthday of um, her husband. And she's like, Tammy, what you gonna charge me to shoot Keith's birthday? I said, I don't know. I'm not a photographer. I'm just doing this just because I can. So, that was the thing so that was the first time I actually got hired to do a photography gig. And even with that, I said, people want to pay me to do this photography, then I need to get some training. I need to do things right and do, just kind of step it up from an integrity perspective. I can't just go out there willy-nilly, not doing the right things. So
hey, Tammy, let me say this right there. Tammy does quality work. She's not going to rush. You see how she has her business shirt on right now? She comes professional, ready before time. She'll arrive there before you. We actually have photos of when she shot Funny in Stilettos. The photos, the pictures that you would capture, I was like, how did Tammy get that picture? I think I started calling you Wonder Woman. I was like, I don't know.
I'm like a sniper. You don't even know that I'm there. I don't miss too much.
Gets it done. So these are some of the photos from the Howard Theater that she did. Yes, I was on stage hula hooping. Yes, I was. Yes, I was. And Tammy captured it, honey. And this is we do purple carpet for Funny and Stilettos.
Yeah, those were good times. Those were really, really good times.
Yes.
But I also want to celebrate my church as well, the First Baptist Church of Glen Arden, because that was also a real big part of me establishing myself as a photographer, because they have a photography ministry. And I didn't even know that at first. I was on a magazine ministry, again, doing graphics and layout and just supporting the print process. And I realized I had a photography ministry. So let me just kind of explore. And I did that. And then had opportunity to be around other photographers, learn the craft, took a class from Daryl Todd. I actually went to his class for a whole year, 2 different 6-month courses. And I still drop in every now and then to get more training. I took a course.
And who was that?
Daryl Todd.
Daryl Todd. So he's like he's a renowned photographer.
Renowned photographer, teacher, leader, mentor, all of that. And I also want to shout out Kia Taylor from Imagine Photography DC. I want to shout out Cipriana Photography. It's Cipriana Thompson Photography as well. And I'm saying these names, and normally I wouldn't name drop, but I'm doing this for a reason, because I feel like it's important that you have relationships and we all work together when it comes to the scale of projects and sizes of different events that we've done or we do. And we teach each other. They've taught me so much, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for those 3 different instructors or people that I've been around to just we thrive together. And I was also going to say I've traveled over to I spent a week in Arizona. I studied under Michelle Celentano. I learned posing from her. I studied under Dallas Logan up in New York. I learned studio lighting from him. So sometimes you have to go out of your comfort zone and go to where you need to learn these different skill sets.
And so, Roy Cox.
Oh, yeah, Roy Cox. Yeah,
I connected you with Roy Cox.
Yeah, so I would say in 2008 when I left Verizon, I just needed to find my zone, find myself again. So I needed new headshots. Well, I needed headshots because I hadn't had headshots since I was in a pageant. I actually ran for Miss UBC and Miss District of Columbia way back in the early 90s. But anyway, I hadn't had a headshot at all. And so I was talking to Aishah and she said, oh, you need to use Roy Cox. I'm like, okay. So I got my first set of real headshots from Roy Cox back in 2008. And he has since done a few others of my headshots as well. And then who else has done my headshots? Nobody really. I mean, it's probably time for me to get some more. And so now, we'll just.
And then you get some. Didn't you study with him, or he gave you tips and stuff?
I didn't study per se, but he has allowed me to shadow
Right. That's
in
right.
his studio for a period of time, and he's another one who's just been open to
He
teach
dope.
others. And so that's the thing, you know, at the end of the day, you're only as good as the company you keep. And again, if you're learning, or for me, I just needed to really get behind what is it that I'm doing in order to move forward in terms of a professional on the photography side. I could do marketing all day long, but I needed to build up my person when it comes to being a photographer. And so I just had some you know, some
You
things
had
I had
people to
going on.
guide you.
I was
To
just trying
guide
to
you.
build that up. So, but now I'm definitely the go-to person when it comes to lifestyle portraits, milestone celebrations, and overall branding you, your product, your service, just helping to tell your story through photographs.
Awesome.
So you get the best of both worlds in knowing me, working with me, because I'm going to always see things through end to end to make it happen.
Yes, and she is professional. She's going to communicate with you. Even today, she wanted to make sure I had different things that I needed for the interview. Like her package is beautiful. So if you needed her to package your, as she talked about, resumes, bios, you still do business cards and things like that. Because people
Not
don't
as
really
much
do business
anymore,
cards too
because
much,
at the end
right?
of the day, I'm really focusing on just
The photography.
the photography side. Depending on how the scale of the project, if it requires that, maybe I'll give you guidance from a consultant perspective, but I'm
Right.
not handling any of those
Smaller
details.
projects. Are you
Yeah,
calling those smaller?
yeah, we're going big. We're all going big. We're doing big things. So yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about the Congressional Black Caucus. You've been with them. This is going to be your 10th year or more working with them.
So it goes back to relationships. So um, Imagine Photography DC, Kia Taylor, and Cipriana Thompson Photography. Those two young ladies have been very instrumental in bringing me along with them when it comes to shooting that event. So it's a team effort. It truly is. There's a lot of times 10 to 12 of us working that entire event because it's so over 4 or 5 days. You've got events, you've got
All day,
meetings, you've
several
got
events.
seminars, you've got a lot of moving parts. So I will give them full credit because I work with them as a part of their team on a bigger picture when it really comes down to supporting the Congressional Black Caucus and some of the other legislative activities that they do all year long. So even though the main event is in the fall or September usually, but they do things throughout the year, especially being here in Washington, D.C., where a lot of things happen on the Hill. We're down there all the time making things happen over the years. So yeah, so inauguration, we've done inauguration. I've shot those inaugural balls. Those are also big things that we've done again as a team, coming in and making things happen. So,
and what I love about you, Tami, is you give the vibe to the project. You know, depending on the project you're doing, you're bringing that vibe. If it calls for being professional, Tami's going to come dressed like that, but she's still going to get the work done. If it's something fun, my comedy show or something, she going to come professional. She's going to have her shirt on, but she going to be professional and she going to flow and she going to be fun. I think if she could roller skate through there and take the photos, she would do that.
some things I got to separate. I need to separate if I want to. Yeah, that's my outlet.
Yeah. So it's just to see a friend, to see how you've grown and blossomed. And I just think that we're just so fortunate. We have a lot of friends that cross, and that how we support one another, you know, we refer one another for different things. I think that's very important. And I'm so proud of you because even though we don't get to see each other on the regular, when I see you posting, whether it is professionally or you doing one of your fun events during the pandemic, I'm like, you better go ahead, Tami. You better go ahead. Tami, actually, you're welcome. How long have you had your motorcycle license?
So I started riding back in 1999, and I'm one of 4 founders of the Speed Divas. Even though that club has dissolved in 2015, many of us are still friends or still connected, but I don't ride a motorcycle anymore. But I still love a track experience. I still love the exhaust. I still like the adrenaline that it brings. So when I see the bikes, I see the spiders or whatever, the slingshots, I'm like, yeah.
Do you still have your bike?
Hmm.
You still have your
No,
bike?
I've since sold my bike because I was feeling I was neglecting it. I was so busy focusing on building the business. I just didn't really have time to ride. So, and plus, my friendships, we're all growing up. That was the fun thing to do where we didn't have a lot of responsibilities or family and just a lot of commitments in our 20s. And that's what we did. I used to ride my bike so much because I used to ride to work. People didn't think I had a car. And so I'm like,
Right.
our first fight. But yeah, it was such a good time for that period, for that season. But people usually always remember me like, you still got your bike? I don't have it anymore, but who knows? I might get me something fun.
And what I love about it is that you would go out, you would have your fun, but she was always responsible. Like I remember you told me you would say to them, well, give me the address of where y'all going. And I'm gonna meet you because you would take your time and make sure you were safe. You would pay attention to the road and all of that. So I was like, Tammy, she dope. She dope. She gonna have her fun, but she gonna be safe. So I love that she would pull up like our families. I know her mom. I know her brother. I think I met one of your nieces. I believe I met
Yeah,
your
Monet. Then we got Tori. Yes.
And you know my mom, my sisters, brothers, all of that stuff, right? So we know one another's family. She would just pull up on her motorcycle to a family event. We got a picture of my nephew Kareem when he was a little boy. He's now 30. When he was like, he was like Sice looking at your bike. He was so excited, So
yeah, those were good times and always to be cherished for sure.
Absolutely. And you are a Delta.
I am a Delta.
You are
yes.
a Delta, and I was there when you. So I would call it the ceremony or the event, the graduation. You crossed over. You tapped your foot. UDC.
Yeah.
I was like, yes!
Ring 99. In fact, we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary next year.
Wow. And that's
in April. So all of these milestones are just happening in life experiences. So it's a feel good thing to just still be on the path.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So we have Black Caucus coming up. So what are some of your future goals that you have that you're working on or your aspirations in the next year or two?
Yeah, so right now I'm actually getting really settled here at the brand studio.
And it's so cute.
Yeah, so now that I have a physical space, I've been here, it would be like 1 year in November. So we're gearing up for our 25th anniversary coming up in November, November 10th, 11th, and 12th, at least that weekend, Veterans Day weekend.
After your birthday.
My birthday. And so with that being said, I'll be 50. So we're going to do a big. So we've got some really fun things cooking for November. So by September 1st, we'll have tickets on sale for the ticket events. And then for that's not, we'll just, let you know what's coming up.
All right. I can't believe she's going to be 50. But let me just sit with 50. Let me sit with 50, Tammy. I need to sit with 50. Wow. I don't know, because I always think you baby Tammy. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe she's gonna be 50. Okay, continue.
Yeah. So November's gonna be a big deal this year. So celebrating, my birthday, yes, and then also celebrating 25 years of this milestone because it's just really have been that. And again, since I've been here at Savage Mill for a year, is to be celebrated. And so tomorrow, as a matter of fact, we're going to be doing girls' night out right here at the mill. So if you're around, please come through 4 o'clock to 8 p.m. We'll be here, but we're also going to do it again in October. We do it quarterly.
Okay.
I'm also going to be doing, if anybody's in the Cambridge, Maryland area, I'm going to be doing the Taste of Cambridge, which is in October the 7th. So that will be the other event that I'm going to be doing, showcasing. So I'll have a nice big setup. So come on out. So those are the things that are happening for the fall, and I'll be closing out, getting ready to do. Holiday is right now. So if anybody wants holiday photos, get on my calendar because this is holiday season right now. We're starting August, September, October. We're not going to be doing holiday in December this year.
Okay.
So get on my calendar right now. And then for next year, we're just gonna, like I said, plant here. We got one of one thing I forgot to say a while back. I have going back to strategic partners. I do a lot of work with construction firms. Clark Construction was one of my initial strategic partners. I learned a lot about trades and construction and just all those other smaller trades who might need marketing services. So I support them along the way. But I have one client who we're going to be doing some real fun things on the construction side for the new year. So that is to look forward to. Also work really closely with an interior design team. So we'll be doing some interior design as well. I don't do a lot of it here, but people want that from my services. So that's something I'll be
Okay.
able to entertain on a per project basis based on the scale. Um, so that's what I'm looking forward to, just building forward with the fortune companies that I'm working with, and then also still supporting my families, generations, and those who might want lifestyle portraits. Do a lot of wall galleries in your home, and just be able to celebrate one another through portraits and preserving those memories for generations to come.
Awesome. So, Tammy, what tips would you give a young photographer, someone that's interested in moving into photography? What tips would you give to them? Like 3 tips.
3 tips. Well, first of all, get a job. Work, so you can't just be a photographer. You want to do your job and be a photographer, so it's multifaceted here. You also want to shoot something new every day or every week and really have a goal in mind. And you don't need to buy a lot of equipment, just use what you have and just stay the course. Find your zone or find an area that you might like, whether it's landscape or people or product. Just find one and really hone in on that. And then there's lighting, light is light. So it's a lot of those things you just want to like learn along the way. And don't be afraid to ask questions. Find someone who'll be willing to let you shadow them. And if they, just be open to receive. And there's always something new to learn.
And being critiqued.
And being critiqued. Absolutely. And absolutely. Even
No, because some people can't take. They're like, "This the bomb."
You gotta have tough skin because that's how you learn. I mean, I've been cussed out many a times, in a bad way, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, I know what not to do when I talk to my people. When I was like, that's interesting. She said that to me. Okay, so I just file it away, and I know what not to do to other people because that's just not in my nature or my spirit.
Right.
But be open to learn. And everything is not on YouTube. It is, but it's not. So you have to trust the process and come away from the internet, but definitely do some things hands-on. Take a class and be willing. Oh, here's the other thing. You got to invest in you. So don't be afraid to pay for courses. You have to do that. So people are willing to teach you, but you got to pay for it.
Right. Very good. Very good. So you are a Black woman-owned business, 25 years, and we know it's. I don't care who you are. Having your own business is never easy.
Right.
How would you say your journey has been? Your path, is there anything that you would change? Because we always say, well, I could have did that different after what did they hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, like I said, it's always important to have your income straight. So you can have the business, but you still need to be able to separate your personal business from your business. So you want to be able to have your credit straight. You need money in the bank, money to just sit on, but at the same time, it needs to be able to operate your business from the money that you make in your business and not let it mix. So I think those are things I've learned along the way, what not to do, and you just get better. And you start small. You don't have to bite off too much more that you can chew or you can handle. And you don't need, like I said, equipment. You don't have to, you rent before you buy. Sometimes you have to just do that until you get enough, you've earned enough money, enough revenue to be able to invest in actual more equipment. You don't always need a lot of space, but you just need to be consistent in it all.
Mhm. And also, I think, and just in any business, if you can barter with someone, share
Yeah.
space, different things like that, to do it. And like you said, lighting is lighting, and also we can shoot outside. A lot of people are doing things outside, and then I think also having a theme for what you're shooting.
Well, personal projects. So,
Mhm.
whatever that means to you,
Mhm.
find one thing or find a hobby, find something that you like. And if you enjoy it, keep at it,
Mhm.
because that's what's really you're gonna build forward on that. So just try many things and you'll find what works or what you might like to do more of. It might be events, it might be people, it might be landscape, all of those things, but dibble and dabble in everything.
Mhm. Very
That's what I
good.
would suggest in terms of photography.
Yes. Well, Tabitha Scorn, Tammy E. Johnson. Again, thank you so much for your yes. I appreciate you coming on. I'm so proud of you and all that you do and your marketing showcase brand studio, 25 years of basically you just, as they call it, pivot became a big word during the pandemic. But
Yeah.
you pivoted and pivoted and pivoted and pivoted, and then you
Always,
bring
because
it
you're
all
constantly
together.
evolving. You're constantly
Yes,
evolving. And
yes.
even like I said, it took me a while to realize, yeah, I am a professional photographer because I was so used to being in one space, but then I realized my spaces can cross over. So
That's
absolutely.
right. That's right. That's right. And you wearing them pearls, girl.
Thank
You
you.
first yourself, I was like, because
I'm gonna
it's so
put
funny.
my pearls on with my polo shirt for Aisha.
Okay. Okay. I love you. I love you. Y'all can reach Tammy E. Johnson. Her IG is up on the screen. It's IG is Tammy E. Johnson. That's Tammy Tami, the letter E Johnson.
Yes,
And
use that
also
E.
use that E. And also the marketing showcase. And her website is TamiEJohnson.com. So she already told you need your photography done. You need to create a portrait wall for your family to create
Yes.
memories. You have some events going on. You need her presence there. She is one of many. So they
Yes.
got a team, and I love the fact that everybody has their own business, but y'all
Yes.
come together. And this is what people need to understand, that we all come together and we do our
Collaborate.
business.
That's right.
Exactly, exactly. If I'm not available, how about I probably got somebody for you. Here we go. And this is her studio.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful. It looks so cozy. I know you be taking naps in there. It looks very comfortable. It looks like you're home.
Thank you. And you
It's
know what?
very
This sign
comfortable.
right here, is it on this side? Yeah.
Mhm.
When I invite guests into my studio, I always say, home is where my people are. And
Mhm.
you, in fact, are my people because my
Yes.
studio is an extension of my home. I really believe that it
Yes.
is.
And
And that's the
yes.
warm and fuzzy feeling I want people to feel when they come and experience just even being in my showroom and
Mhm.
seeing the work that I've done and what I can do to deliver for them.
Yeah. And that's true, because if you go to Tammy House, it's fun, it's light, it's her, it's your personality.
Thank you.
So we thank you for coming on I Know
Thanks for
Dope
having me. It
People.
was fun.
Thank you for having me coming on I Know Dope People with Queen Aishah, because you're one of my dope friends. So I
Yes.
was like, Tammy, so it's so funny because I was talking about the podcast. I said, Tammy, I gotta have you on. You was like, me? I was like, yeah, why not? We're gonna love on you for an hour. It's gonna be all about Tabitha. Tammy.
Yeah.
So we thank you so much once again. Give it up for Tammy E. Johnson of the Marketing Showcase Brand Studio. Thank you again for your yes. And thank you all so much for checking out I Know Dope People with Queen Aishah. Remember my YouTube channel, it's Queen Aishah, QueenAishah. Also on Facebook, IG, Twitter, Queen Aishah. And make sure you put that last H on there for happy, hottie, humorous, because that's how Geraldine and Donald, my
Yes.
parents, wanted it. Okay? Peace and blessings.
Thanks. Take
Thank you
care.
for watching.